Welcome, welcome. We're going to give some people just a couple minutes, probably another minute, because I want to make sure that we give DePaul and Jocelyn all the time that they need to cover the wonderful school that they are. All right, well, we're going to get started to make sure that we are mindful of your time and everyone's time here. So to get started, my name is Brian Hendricks. I am the Director of College Counseling at Divine Savior Holy Angels High School in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And thank you for joining us for the virtual college exploration. This event is open to all Wisconsin students, and it's sponsored by the Wisconsin Association for College Admissions Counseling and StriveScan. This is a very cool opportunity, so we're really excited that you're all here and able to make it and learn a little bit about DePaul University. So a couple things for everyone to know. You're going to want to ask questions today. As you can see, the chat function has been disabled along with your camera and your microphone. So you are muted, your video's off. So that means we cannot see you. But there is a little button that says Q&A. If you click on that, you can type in all your questions there. And then our wonderful presenter, Jocelyn's going to be able to answer them via the Q&A button, or she will just answer it just virtually as she's talking. So that's the best way to communicate with us today is going to be through that Q&A option. Then if you want to sign up for more sessions, make sure you go to WACAC, that's WACAC.com, to sign up for some more sessions. We have a lot of great sessions that are college specific or college application specific or essay specific coming up the next week. So make sure you're checking those out. And then do not worry if you hear such great information, you want to watch it back 2 or 3 or 4 times, the presentation today. Everything is being recorded, and that will be on that same website where you can register for more events. That is at wacac.com, www.wacac.com. That is all I have for you. So right now I'm going to turn it over to our wonderful guest from DePaul University, Jocelyn Valdez. Jocelyn, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and it is your show.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Let me go ahead and share my screen really quick. For everyone in this room, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Jocelyn. I am the freshman admission counselor that works with all of Wisconsin students that are wanting to apply and go through the admission process at DePaul University. I want this to be really a safe space, a space where you guys can ask all your questions, because I at some point was in your shoes, and I remember being a first generation student that really didn't know what this whole process is. So during this entire presentation, since there is just a couple of us, please feel free to type in any and all of your questions, and I'll be sure to answer them throughout the presentation. Or if you would like, we can also host like a little Q&A right after I do my presentation. So to get started, again, welcome. For some of you, this may be the very first college presentation that you are attending. For some of you guys, it may not be. But regardless, college is going to be a big part of your life. And with every single part of your life, we also know that it's going to be a big story in your life as well. So because some people might know exactly where they want to go, some people may not, and some people discover that during college. So I'm going to play a quick video for you guys that lets you guys see what some of our DePaul students are doing right after graduation.
So after graduation, I got a job as an English teacher in Japan. And that's why I chose DePaul, because of the animation program, but then also because I could take Japanese language courses as well.
I'm starting a full-time job at Bank of America doing commercial banking.
I got a job with Miller Coors with their sales management program.
Going to be an analyst at JP Morgan.
This summer, I start full-time with Ernst & Young in their People Advisory Services department.
I'm going to be a professional golfer once I graduate.
I'm going to be a sales executive at C.H. Robinson.
I've gotten so many internships. I've gotten a lot of job offers, not even from Chicago. And I decided to do volunteer work because that's something that DePaul has always had here.
So something I really love about the video is that it really just shows that not everyone that comes to DePaul has the same dream or the same career outcome once they finish college. I mean, we definitely don't have a golfing major, but we always like to say that we like to give students the skills, the knowledge, and the perspective to make those decisions and kickstart their career. But to start off, I'm going to backtrack a little bit, and I want to show you guys a couple of facts here about DePaul. We were actually founded back in 1898, and fun fact, our very first class actually was just 70 students. And now we have a little bit over 23,000 students. So we have definitely grown in the time that DePaul was founded. About 15,000 of those students are going to be undergrad students, and that can seem like a really big number. I know when I was going through this whole college process myself, I kept on saying, I have to go to a small school to have small class sizes, and working at DePaul totally proved me wrong. Although we do have a big amount of students, our student to faculty ratio is 15:1, and our average class size is about 22 to 23 students. And that just goes to show that we like to give the students the respect and the classroom intimacy to, get to know the professors, to be comfortable in the class and whatever questions you might have. About 98% of those classes are taught by professors. The rest are going to be, teacher assistants. And now that we are in a virtual world, I'm always really proud to say that DePaul actually offers additional training to all professors so that they make sure that they can take the same in-person experience and translate it virtually, because we all know that doing that can be a little bit difficult. We are represented by all 50 states and over 111 countries, and 67% of our students do come from Illinois. The rest come from all over. We do have a lot of study abroad opportunities, which I will get to a little bit later on. And we do, since we are founded on Vincentian values and we really do value community service, we just like to point out that over 3,400 of our students do complete service learning courses annually. So here at DePaul, we always like to concentrate on 3 words: education, environment, and ethos. And I'll get a little bit into what every single one of those mean. But when it comes to the first E, education, we always like to tell our students, when you come to DePaul and when you go to college overall, it's always really important to keep an open mind, because an open mind opens doors. And I am going to let our professors kind of show you a little bit about the education that they do bring to DePaul. If the video will play. There we go.
DePaul is a university that's all about the student. We truly care about launching them successfully, not just with a set of job skills, but so that they can understand the world and its complexity.
When I learned more about how research-focused DePaul really was the teacher-scholar model, I could engage students more. That really is something that resonated with me.
Having a professor who has experience outside of teaching helps put things into perspective for the students and helps them apply what they're learning outside of the classroom. In my graduate classes, people are more focused. They know what they want, and they're always working on something, inventing something, creating something, and that just sparked a sense of innovation even within me. But I really feel that it helps to prepare me to go to the next level within my career.
We have students going into fantastic internships. We have students getting great jobs. We have students leveraging their classroom experience on site in the city. I don't think they see a separation between the academic life and the real world.
DePaul is very responsive to industry demands by creating new programs, new courses. We want to make sure what the students are learning is up to date and reflects what's going on in the market.
So my DePaul education allowed me to understand the issues of my profession from a local perspective, a metropolitan perspective, a domestic and international. So I got a little bit of a taste for everything.
We are here day after day showing students this world, preparing them for it so they can be successful and succeed in their chosen careers and achieve their dreams.
All right. Well, I hope from that video you guys were able to really see the wide range of professors that we do have. We always are really proud to say that our professors are currently in their field as well, whether they are actually working in their field, researching their field or just actively volunteering in their field. Because I think a big part of their teaching philosophy is bringing all of our students real world experience to be able to translate them into real world situations. And all of our professors are actually divided up into 10 colleges. So we do have 10 school and colleges here at DePaul. To give you guys a point of reference, we do have 2 campuses. Well, I'll get into a little bit later on to our presentation, but these colleges are divided up into both. The first 3 are going to be in our Loop campus. The rest are going to be in our Lincoln Park campus. So the Driehaus College of Business, we just always like to say that we're really proud to be in the Loop in Chicago because it's going to be the business district. And all of our students who go to the College of Business are going to be able to explore internships and jobs right across the street or in the neighborhood. Here is the college whether you want to study management, marketing, accounting, and so on from there. But, regardless of your major in this college, you're going to have to take your business 14 core classes. And basically what that means is, again, if you're a management major or a marketing major, you're still going to have to take accounting, finance, economics, graphic design, etc. And we do that purposefully. We always want students to be ready for that next step in their career. So if you're doing a job and you're up for promotion where you get to manage people and maybe take a little bit more into the budget, you're prepared to do so. Moving on to our College of Communication. I love this college because it does take advantage of the fact that Chicago is the 3rd largest media market in the US. And we do have different avenues where students can practice their communication skills, particularly in-house. So we're gonna have things like DePaul Radio, the DePaulia, which is our newspaper that we do have. We also have Good Day DePaul Morning Show, which actually has won a couple awards. And when students are a little bit ready to venture down the road, they'll go to ABC7, Fox 32, or Edelman, which is one of the top PR firms here in Chicago. Moving down to our College of Computing and Digital Media, this is actually going to be a 2-part college. The computing side of it is going to focus on careers like computer science, cybersecurity, information system. The digital media part of it is going to focus on film and television, animation, and graphic design. A fun fact is that film and television is actually our fastest growing major here at DePaul. And whenever we have a fast and growing major, we always want to make sure that we're giving everyone top-notch education, top-notch partnerships. So we have actually partnered with CineSpace. If you're not too familiar with what CineSpace is, it's actually the 2nd largest, film lot outside of LA. Although now that Tyler Perry has opened up his film lot, that CineSpace might have bumped to 4th, but we're still not sure about that one. But basically for any students who want to explore this side of it, CineSpace is where a lot of TV shows get filmed, a lot of movies get filmed. So we do have students, shuttled over there to maybe observe. We have classes that actually run there sometimes, or if you happen to get an internship or an assistantship or something like that, you're able to go there as well, which I think is really cool. Next, going to our College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences. So this is really going to be our most general and the core of education here at DePaul, because no matter which major you are, no matter which college you belong to, you're going to have to take some type of class here at the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, and that can be anything like English, psychology, philosophy, etc. This college actually houses our most popular major for our incoming students, and that's going to be undecided majors. So if you're an undecided major, that's totally okay. You are not alone in this boat, and there's no pressure for you to know what you want to do right away. Being an undecided major, you actually get to work really closely with our career service so that you can take a couple exams to see, maybe you are more prone to be this type of worker or that type of worker. You also get paired up with someone to maybe start thinking about career choices, but overall, you have 2 full years to kind of see what you would like to do. If you have different interests, we'll put you in classes of different interests, but you will never fall behind because you still have to complete your general education classes. So I think that's something really nice. In our College of Science and Health, this is going to be for all of my science students, anyone that wants to do anything science related, body related, this is the college for you. This is the college where we actually have one of our most popular honors program, and that's going to be the Pathway Honors Program. Basically what this is that we have a partnership with Rosalind Franklin which is med school here in Chicago. If you are chosen out of admission, you will get a chance to interview, and if you get chosen for this program, you basically have a preliminary admission to med school, and all you just have to make sure is that you keep up your grades, and when it's time to go to med school, you just kind of transition over there, which is really great for our students wanting to go that route. So that's a really great question, really great pathway honors program, and if you have any more questions, again, please feel free to use that Q&A chat box for me. Going down to our College of Education, one of my favorite colleges. What's really great is that no matter which teaching level you want to do, they always, try to put you first as a student to get to know yourself as a teacher. So the first year is going to be a lot of basic learning, depending again on what you're going to be teaching or which level you're going to be teaching. But the next year you're going to be a teacher assistant. The third year is again another teaching assistant, but then the fourth year it's all you. So what's really great is that the director of this college actually works a year ahead of schedule. So when it's time to apply for student teaching programs, you are a first for your choice of school that you want to teach at. And we've never had a problem transitioning an Illinois licensure in education to another state. So if you're coming from out of state to do something with education, you won't have any problem transitioning that degree outside of Illinois. Going down to our theater school and our school of music. So these two are going to be conservatory style schools. And what that means is that they are very challenging to get into, and they are also very challenging once you're in the program. So they're highly selective. They also run on their own admission process. So you always have to make sure that you're watching out for those deadlines, because eventually you're going to have to present a portfolio, audition, interview, etc. And then once you're in the program, you go about your major. What's really great is that if you end up coming to DePaul, please check out their programs. Either way, they do over 100 productions a year, and they have really great success for their alumni coming out of DePaul. A couple notable ones is going to be, who should I name? If you have watched Stranger Things, the character Steve, which I always forget what his real name is, but he came out of our theater school. Moni Coleman, who was on High School Musical. There was another gentleman who was the principal on Mean Girls, and he's been on SNL a couple times, and so forth from there. If you just look up notable DePaul alumni, you'll be able to see a lot of famous faces out there. So they definitely do have top-notch education, and then also connections right after graduation. The School of New Learning, I won't really mention this one too much because it's for our adult students coming back after a while, and then our College of Law is going to be for those students who are actually practicing to be lawyers. So to move on. So again, just to reiterate, we do have over 300 academic programs divided up into those 10 colleges. So definitely have your pick, and it's okay to switch majors as well. You just always have to work really closely with your academic advisor. To circle back on that study abroad program, here at DePaul, we do feel like it's a little bit of a disservice to just limit your education to our campus or just to Chicago. So we do offer over 80+ study abroad programs, and students can actually study abroad as soon as their freshman year. We do have specific first year travel abroad programs. So you can travel as little as 10 days. You can do an entire quarter, or entire summer, or an entire year. And we do have a lot of study abroad programs that are just based on interest, and we do have some that are based specifically on a major or a college, so just watch out for those. And it's really great because our office that takes care of study abroad programs actually posts a lot of study abroad scholarships as well. So we do have scholarship opportunities if there are students who maybe need a little bit more financial gap to close any of those costs of studying abroad. But overall, these are just some nice things that, some publications have said about us. We are actually the largest Catholic university here in the U.S. The U.S. News ranked us as one of the best national universities. We're ranked among the best Midwest colleges, and ranked number 11 among our Peace Corps top universities. I love this number down here. It's the 90+. So this basically means that 90+% of our graduate students are either employed, continuing education or not seeking employment within 6 months of graduation, which really speaks a lot about our career services. And again, us trying to jumpstart our students' career by the career services, which I will actually get into that a little bit later down the road. But going into our second E, which is actually environment, I think college is a really big place to have big dreams, and what better way to do it than in a big city. I think being a college student in a big city like Chicago is just so great because you get to really explore yourself as an individual. You get to be a student, you get to explore, you get to make connections. And I mean, you guys will get to know this as well, but there's a lot of self-discovery when you're in college. And so I will actually play this video for you guys because I think it's fairly great to know about our environment.
I think you can't take Chicago out of DePaul, nor can you take DePaul out of Chicago.
Going to DePaul gives you like a little bit of fearlessness. There's just so much that you intuitively begin to learn just by being in this place.
The thing that Chicago offers is the world in the city. You know, there's hundreds of languages spoken in the city, however many hundreds of different ethnic groups here. The students are able to experience that. It's almost unique in the world to sort of have that global diversity in such a small space.
You would misunderstand DePaul if you only looked at its buildings on State Street or Jackson or up in Lincoln Park. Our students are out working in the great film lots on the west side. Our students are on the stages of Chicago. They're musicians throughout Chicago. You can study theoretical economics here, but you're going to study with people who work at the Fed and use economics every day in banks.
I interned at Clear Channel, The Shed, White Sox. I did one with Nike, and I would have never had that opportunity outside of the city.
Our students aren't overwhelmed easily. I hear that from employers. They're not intimidated, I think, because they live in this environment where they're exposed to all different types of people, organizations while they're in DePaul.
Being a university in the middle of one of the most vibrant cities of America shapes the opportunities our students have to learn and shapes the university.
Perfect. So another 3 words that I like to focus on is experience, excitement, and opportunity. And as you kind of saw in this video, our biggest goal here is to provide that experience in and outside of the classroom. It's to provide that excitement of being in such a big place to explore and be curious, and also, again, those opportunities to jumpstart your career. So I kind of alluded to this a little bit earlier in the presentation, but we do have 2 campuses. Our first campus is going to be in the Loop, which is up here. And to give you guys a point of reference, it's probably like 5 minutes away from the Bean if you visited Chicago. And our second campus is going to be Lincoln Park, which is I think like 15 minutes up north. Lincoln Park is going to be more of a traditional campus feel. The Loop is obviously going to be in the city. But regardless, we always like to say that this is a dual campus. So whatever you find in one, you're going to find the other. On both campuses, you'll have housing, a library, dining, clubs, financial aid, etc. And what's really cool is that even if your college is in Lincoln Park, but you want to experience living in the city, you can dorm in the Loop and take your classes up in Lincoln Park or vice versa. And I get this question a lot as to like, how does that happen? Like, how do I get from one point to the other? And that's actually going to be by this cool train right here. Included in everyone's tuition is going to be a Venture U Pass. And basically what that is it gives you unlimited rides to and from campuses or all over Chicago. So really all you have to do is take your Venture U Pass, swipe, and then these trains right here take you all over. To give you guys a point of reference as well, I mean, you get on this stop, and just so you guys know, both stops are literally right in front of DePaul property, so you never have to walk like more than 30 seconds to get on our property, if that's something that you're worried about. But you literally get on one stop, and 9 stops later, you are at a second campus, so just be mindful of that as well. Across all of the university, though, we're going to have 12 community residential areas. We do have different types of rooms. We have singles, doubles, triples, quads, or apartment style. And we never require our students to live on campus. But typically for our first year class, about 71 to 75% of our students end up living on campus as well. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to Chicago as well, I think a lot of the time people sometimes get overwhelmed because there's a lot to do in Chicago. There's events, theaters, professional sports, food, the greatest food ever, music, parks, art, museums. And, you know, if you're coming from out of state, you can sometimes say to yourself, well, how do I even know where to go? And how do I even know where things are? And what's really great is that we offer our first year students 2 courses. One of them is going to be Discover Chicago, and one of them is going to be Explore Chicago. And they're basically, what it is in the name. So either you're going to discover Chicago or explore. And we have different topic areas. So if you want to discover the theater scene, then you would sign up for that class. And all throughout your first quarter, what would happen is that we actually take you to a lot of theater events. If you want to explore professional sports, again, we'll take you to all those professional sports here in Chicago, excuse me. And you basically just enjoy the time. And one of the biggest things that we do during those courses is actually we teach you how to write the CTA so that you have the confidence by yourself or for, you know, to go around with your friends to discover all of Chicago. So again, if you have any questions, please type them out because I know sometimes I can forget a little detail. So just be sure to really use that Q&A box for me. To talk a little bit more about our career services though, you know, DePaul's a really big university. And when you have a really big university, you have a large network of alumni who are here to support you and help you. So overall, we have over 180,000 DePaul alumni, and they are all over the world. What's really great is that we actually do have a program called ASK, and that is short for Alumni Sharing Knowledge. And that is our alumni volunteering to be part of this portal and just be, you know, mentors for anyone who is asking for one. So if you go on this program and you say, hi, I'm looking for a mentor because I'm, you know, looking to shadow someone who is doing computer science, someone can hop on that. So it's just an extra resource for students to use, but our career services works with, you know, over 300, you know, businesses every single year. In Chicago alone, there's over 265,000. And, you know, there's over 28 Fortune 500 companies, 400 corporate headquarters, 100 nonprofit organizations for anyone that's interested. And our career services really does their part in trying to get all these opportunities for our students. So they do different workshops. They'll do like resume building, interview practice. They also do host on-campus interview days. So if we're having like an internship fair or a job fair, these companies will come to us. And it's just up to a student to kind of snazzy up, get a resume up and start distributing it to hopefully get an interview somewhere. If there happen to be multiple interviews, then those companies will also come back to campus because our career services will host interview days. So you don't have to travel too far to get those opportunities for sure. Just last year alone, to name a couple things, our career services posted over 21,000 jobs, over 8,000 internships, and they worked with over 359 organizations trying to recruit DePaul students. And a quick list of those employers are going to be Amazon, Lori's Children, Edelman, it's going to be Discover, Facebook, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Google, etc. So we definitely, again, provide those opportunities for our students, and it's just really up to our students to take advantage of it. But I'm gonna go ahead and skip over these slides. Really, because I want to give you some time for Q&A. To get the last part of this as well, we were actually, as I had mentioned before, we were actually founded back in 1898 by Vincentian Catholics. So the Vincentian Catholicism gets its name from St. Vincent de Paul, who was a patron saint of charity who devoted his life to service. And a little background, when they were originally trying to see where to put DePaul University, they picked Lincoln Park because Lincoln Park was actually not the affluent community that it is now. It was actually a community full of immigrants and a working population. So they took DePaul and they put it where people needed it the most, where people maybe didn't have as easy access to secondary education because they always asked themselves, what must be done? And at the moment, that's what it was. I get this question a lot as well. I mean, because we were founded on Vincentian values, we do value community, reflection, service, celebration. And I get this question a lot as to like, how Do I have to be Catholic to come to DePaul? Am I going to be forced to take religion classes? And the answer really is you can be as into all that religion as much as you want. You can be as not, you can have nothing to do with it, because, we're not here to preach religion to you. We are not here to force it on you. It's just really there as an exploratory subject for a lot of students. So there are a couple, I guess you can say, religion courses requirements, but those can be of different spectrums. Me as a Catholic, if I were to go to DePaul, I probably wouldn't want to study Catholicism because I probably know a little bit about it, but I really want to study the history of Buddhism because I think it's just so interesting. You can definitely do something like that. I know I had a student who took an arts class as a religion course, and all they did was study art and kind of interpret it themselves. Or you can take a different approach, and a yoga class would fulfill that requirement. So there's definitely different things that you can do, but if you are someone who wants to explore and practice your religion, don't worry, Catholicism is not the only thing that we have on campus. We actually represent over 30 religions on campus, and we do have certain areas on campus where students can practice their religion as well. What if you're someone who just wants to do a lot of community service? We do have service days. So if students want to go out and help the community and answer that question, what must be done? We give service days to our students. There are over 20 Chicago service sites near campus. There's postgraduate service, volunteer service, and we just always like to say that we are community peacemakers as well. Okay, so not to get to the nitty-gritty about applying, and again, this is probably the part where I have the most questions, so please be sure to drop your Q&A in the chat box as well. So for any of my rising seniors, now would be the time to apply. We are exclusively on the Common App, and our application actually opened August 1st. We do have 2 deadlines. So our first deadline is going to be early action, and that's November 15th. Our second deadline is going to be regular notification, and that's February 1st. Just so you guys know as well, early action is not binding, so don't feel a little bit nervous about getting to that deadline. All that really means is that if you complete your application by November 15th, that means that you are okay with hearing back your admission decision anywhere from November 16th all the way to Christmas, because we're actually going to send out admission decisions a little bit earlier this year. If you apply by February 1st, that's perfectly fine. All that means is that you are okay with hearing back your admission decision anywhere from February 2nd to March 15th. What do you need to complete your application? Well, you need to submit your application on the Common App. Second, you do have to send in your high school transcripts because that'll give us your GPA. And you can submit test scores if you want to, because DePaul is actually test score optional, and we have actually been test score optional for a good amount of years. It's not the first time that we're doing it. So if you want to submit your test scores, that's perfectly fine. If you don't, for whatever reason that is, you don't have to either. To give you guys a point of reference, last year our average GPA was about a 3.6, and our average ACT was about a 26 as well. Does anyone have any questions about that? If so, type it in. But students will go ahead and submit everything. Oh, and just so you guys know as well, please make sure you're also vigilant of those deadlines for anyone interested in doing the School of Music or the theater school. School of Music's deadline is December 1st, because again, you have to go through the whole process of interviewing, auditioning, and so on from there. And the same for the theater school, but their deadline is going to be February 1st. Anyone who is admitted to DePaul is eligible for scholarship. Sorry, I totally blanked there. For scholarships, we are very generous, firsthand. So our scholarships do range anywhere from $50,000, $15,000, all the way to $24,000, and those are renewable annually. Let's see. We did have a question come by, and someone asked me to repeat the ACT score, and the average last year was about a 26. But again, I don't want you guys to think that, if I don't have a 26, I won't get in, because that's just the average. An average means that we definitely admitted students who had a higher GPA and ACT score, and a lower one. My biggest advice to students is that when you're filling out your application, just be honest about anything that might have happened during your career in high school. Let us get to know you a little bit through your application, because, things happen. Grades sometimes fall, grades sometimes skyrocket. So just be yourself on your application and maybe expect a call if there's anything that we need to go through with you as well. I think there's one more video I get to play. So let's.
DePaul isn't trying to be like every university in America. We want to be DePaul.
Think about it. It's a school in the city. It's not a traditional experience. My campus is Chicago.
We don't live in a bubble at DePaul.
People are coming from all across the political spectrum, from all across the social spectrum.
The goal of DePaul is to empower individuals to move forward and change their place in the world.
The fact that St. Vincent de Paul's name is over our door gives us a sense of mission that we need to make a difference.
In undergrad and in grad school, DePaul really wants to help their own and really wants to help you to get to the next level.
DePaul students, they're working towards something, and maybe it's just the energy of the city. They're in it. They're going forward. They're moving. They're trying to make things happen.
We believe you are not educated unless you can engage the world in its complexity, and you'll never succeed in creating the kind of world that you want unless you can understand the world from all different directions.
It is challenging, and you wouldn't want it any other way. We're going to ask a lot of you, but we also provide the support so that you have the opportunity to succeed.
Faculty here want to teach. They like to teach. They like to interact with their students. When a professor's really excited about what they do because it's what they love to do, as a student, for me, it's more engaging.
My students never ask me about being in the real world because we deal with real world stuff all the time.
We have these relationships where our students give back and they're going out into all the different communities within Chicago, working and volunteering.
A DePaul student is the triple threat. You've gotten the strong educational background. You've also worked and gotten the experiential learning. So you have the work experience at some of the top companies in the world, and you have the community service-based Vincentian values.
When people leave here, they've embraced the DePaul experience in every sense of the word.
You see this path that I can be everything that I want to be.
The education, the environment, and the ethos. When you can tie those three things together, it makes it impossible not to have success.
Perfect. So to kind of wrap it up, I just want to emphasize that this is your life story. I think if there's anything I want everyone to take out of my presentation is that college is going to be what you make out of it. And I just hope you guys got a chance to see that here at DePaul, we have many resources and many different things that can help you write some really exciting chapters to your story. So I'd like to thank you all. Hopefully, you guys got a lot from my presentation. My name again is Jocelyn. If you are interested in having questions answered, please go ahead and type them in the Q&A, but just know as well, I am available for a lot of one-on-one appointments. So if you just go on the DePaul.edu website, look up my name, you'll be able to schedule just a one-on-one phone or Zoom appointment for us to kind of chat, get to know each other, and for me to help you throughout your whole admission process, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to walk you guys through the whole process, so we are partners in this, and I definitely meet everyone at the stage that they're at. So I'm gonna wait a minute to see if there's any questions. And again, no question's a dumb question. I just want to be here as a resource to you guys. I'm gonna wait maybe just a minute. I actually stopped sharing my screen too. Okay, well, it doesn't seem like there are any more questions, so I will let our StriveScan partner take it out.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you, Jocelyn. That was awesome. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us and helping out our students. For everybody that was joining us, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. When you close out of this screen, There'll be a quick 4-question survey. Please take that. We're looking for feedback on how to bring about the best information, the best way to do that for all of you. So please take a quick minute to take that 4-question survey. You'll also be able to sign up for more sessions at www.wacac.com. And then if you wanted to watch this session back, if you heard something and you just couldn't remember what it was, don't worry. It will be on the Wisconsin Association for College Admission Counselors website. That is at www.wacac.com. So for Wisconsin Association of College Admissions Counselors and StrivesCan, thank you all for coming. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye, guys.